Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today I kind of want to talk about something that I've been thinking about, and I had this, conversation with my dad this morning, and we were talking about like what would it take for society to change? Like how do we solve all these problems and that we have, with unhoused people, with food insecurity and stuff like that. And we were talking about it, and it got down to the fact that, or to this point where I was like, I think that, the most basic thing that we can do for people is to provide them with a home, a warm bed, a space to call their own, a space to decorate, to take care of, a kitchen, food, healthcare, things like that. And then from there, we can address other issues. But the basics is, giving them the resources they need to live. And once you take that pressure off of them, right, giving them stability, giving them structure, giving them community, they will, reintegrate into society and want to better themselves. Because his point was like, there's always going to be people who don't want to better themselves, who want to be drug addicts and, be unhoused and live their lives as a transient on the edge of society. And, my point was like, well, if they want to do that, fine, they have freedom to do that. And he was like, well, what if they hurt people? And so I just want to talk about how society, and I was like, well, why do you believe that? What is the point of believing like that? Like, you're thinking of some fictitious person that, has all these things and still chooses to, enact violence. And like, that's not a real person. You're thinking of like this abstract person. And, what is the point of thinking like that? And so I just want to talk about keeping your empathy and keeping your optimism. And, society, like the way that we have the capitalist society, thrives on us being in competition with each other. Like the whole thing about capitalism is like we each have our businesses and then they fight it out, and it's like survival of the fittest, right? And how as we grow up, society kind of, through our parents, through TV, through media, tries to take that optimism away from us, and our empathy and our faith in humanity and faith in other people is perceived as naive, as unrealistic, and how we're, that idea is like looked down upon, that outlook. And I just want to talk about how like that outlook of optimism, of faith, is your greatest asset, and you shouldn't let people take that away from you just because they have a different mindset than you, right? Don't let other people's projections change who you are fundamentally. And, people will call you naive and unrealistic, and will say like, that's never going to happen and you can't do that, and like, where's the money going to come from? But it is one of the most radical things you can do to maintain that optimism and your faith in humanity. And there's a line in the Tao Te Ching which says something like, and it says in a direct quotation, but like, the master trusts those who are trustworthy, the master trusts those who are untrustworthy, and through that he makes them trustworthy. And so if you actually have faith in people and have faith in them and believe in them, you make them trustworthy. You make it successful. Like, you give them the support that they need to step into that productive can be like kind of a bad word to use, but like in that active role in their life, right? Where they can then choose to heal and choose to make changes for the better in their life in the ways that they want. And let's say like, you can say, well, that's not realistic because, I trust this person, but if they're a drug addict, they're just going to spend their money on drugs. It's like, yeah, okay, well, maybe that does happen. But then by loving them and by having empathy, you give them a safe space to come back to comfort them and to say like, it's okay, I still love you. I still love you. I still will still support you, you know, so that in the future, maybe you'll make a different choice. Or what resources do you need to, you know, make a different choice? And when you surround someone with love, it's transforming. With community, you know, when you give them the support that they need, it's miraculous. Like, people do change. And I think it's just so shitty and so like small-minded to be in this idea that some people are always going to choose bad. And maybe that is true. Like, but what do you gain from that? Like, what do you gain from that mindset? It just limits yourself, and it limits your views of other people. And like, why wouldn't you want to choose love and choose trust and faith in humanity? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And so I just want to encourage you, like, it's okay to believe in people. It's okay to believe in a better future and believe in your community, because, you know, each other is all we have. And like, why would you not want to? I just don't understand it. Like, why would you want to be pessimistic? And I do think part of it is like, you've been hurt in the past, but you know, your past doesn't define you. You know, you're a different person than you were in the past. You know, you've learned things and you've bettered yourself. And if you choose to open up your heart, if you choose to actually truly meet people where they are and give them the support, then miraculous things happen. Like I said, like, change happens. I see it every single day. And yeah, so I really just want to say, like, don't let other people take away your spark, take away your faith, your love and of humanity and of a positive, brighter future. And, you know, just keep at it. Keep doing the things that you know to be true. And there's like also a line in the Tao Te Ching, like, the wise man accepts the Tao, the smart man disregards it, and the fool laughs at it. And if that wasn't the case, it wouldn't be the Tao, right? It wouldn't be the truth. People are going to disregard it. They're going to disregard your faith in humanity and in the world and society, that we have potential for change, that we have potential to support each other. And people are going to laugh, and people are going to call you naive, and they're going to call you, you know, young and stupid. But it's okay. Like, wouldn't you rather live in a space of love and light and laughter and faith in each other? Like, it's just such a better way to live. You feel so much lighter. You have trust in people. And it's crazy how that actually works, right? That it actually shows results. So anyway, I really just want to say, like, don't let older people, don't let your parents, don't let, you know, maybe your boss or your mentors, or like, and I do feel like it's a lot of the time it's older people will try to say this about your views if you're younger, or people who maybe are in business because they're in that world of competition, of cutthroat, you know, business tactics. But don't let them dull your spark, okay? There are other people like you. Like, I meet them. When you lead with your heart, when you lead with this faith in humanity, you will meet other people. And especially if you start acting on it, right? If you start acting in mutual aid and, like, you know, working at the local homeless shelter or the food pantry or something, you will meet other people who have this optimism, who have this faith in people, who have love and lead with their heart. So I just want to tell you, don't give up. You are a leader. You know, your empathy is what sets you apart. You are a leader, and lead these people. They're simply just being who you are, of refusing to give in to this pessimistic mindset, and simply lead, you know, just be yourself and don't ever compromise in your empathy. And you will lead other people into that because they see you shine and they're like, huh, maybe they're right, or maybe they've got something going on, you know? So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, and how get kind of frustrated sometimes because I'm like, Why don't you just have faith? Why don't you just like have trust? And you know, you can't control other people. You can't. So the most you can do is love and faith. And I guess have faith that they could change in the future too. That, you know, just by just being around you, maybe they will change some views in some day. So anyway, that's what I want to talk about. I hope you're having a great day. I'm sending you so much love, so much light. And yeah, today's the 11/11 portal. So do some manifestations today, do some maybe vision boarding today, meditate, talk to your spirit guides if you're into that. I think it's just a good day to kind of reflect. Anyway, bye. Thanks for listening. Leave a comment if you agree or disagree or want to talk about it.